And you just heard Michael Tippett's Sonata for Four Horns.
Wow.
And marvellous work. And Mr. H was playing the fourth horn in that performance recorded this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
it sounded devilish difficult.
Oh, it's incredibly difficult work. It's up there amongst one of the sort of high yield endurance, but such a mellifluous, beautiful, creamy horn sound. It's marvellous.
Oh, certainly. So many at once.
Yes.
But isolated from everything else. I mean.
Yes, indeed. Yes, there's a lot of counterpoint, but there's those beautiful moments where the horns all congeal and you get that marvellous resonance.
I've never heard that before. I mean, that sort of thing I've never heard.
It's a beautiful sound. Henry brought it round last night. He had the concert on Wednesday, and he brought it round to play for me. And I said, "Oh, can I play that?" And he said, "Sure." So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just marvellous, absolutely beautiful. So Henry and three of his friends there. He was playing the fourth horn, Henry, the low horn. That's his specialty. The bass. Well, it's not a bass horn, but it's the sort of pedal point in that texture.
Were all those horns actually the same types of instruments, or are they different sizes?
No, they're all the same instrument. Absolutely, they are. But just all playing in different ranges, and yeah. But there's so much interplay. They rehearsed it a lot. It was a very concentrated event.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and he's got another concert on Sunday, which I'll be going to lunchtime on Sunday with his quintet, and they. And I'm going to be recording it. He wants me to record it, so we'll feature that on a future program too.
Marvelous.
Yeah, so a little bit special, something personal to set the program today. And how are you, Frank? What's news?
Well, I'm fine, and especially now the weather's warmed up a bit.
Yeah, it makes a difference, doesn't it, when you get a bit of natural warmth instead of these. I mean, it's still very cold in the mornings. I'm walking to work and really feeling the bite.
Yeah, it's like winter here.
It is. It's been like that, absolutely, yeah.
But, anyway, this morning, Patrick had a holiday, and his younger daughter had a holiday. Sophia, so we all went to have coffee and cakes and stuff.
Oh, sweet. What a
for
lovely
morning
thing to
tea.
do.
That was most enjoyable.
Oh,
indeed.
fantabulous. That's really good to hear. Lovely thing to do. Yeah, especially when the sun comes out.
It's
Yeah.
a great thing, grandkids. It's a way off for you, but
Yeah.
you'll no doubt have it.
Something will
Or
happen.
one would think.
Yes. Well, something will happen one day, I'm sure. Yeah, that's great.
It's a delight, Steve.
Yeah, I'm sure. Absolutely sure. I'm delighted to hear that. That's good news. And did you get to your U3A jazz event today?
Count Basie.
Oh, my goodness me.
They started off with a very interesting conversation between Basie and Oscar Peterson,
Really?
who are obviously old friends.
Oh my gosh, how about that? Well, they share a heritage for sure. That's amazing. Oh, that would have been great to hear. I'll look that up.
And interspersed, the conversation was interspersed with each of them playing bits of stuff on the piano.
Oh, tremendous. Did they play any of the very, very early recordings of Count Basie in the 20s?
It was a concert that he had.
Oh,
No,
okay,
they didn't.
sure.
He had a long concert. I think it would have been done, I don't know, when.
Yeah.
60s, maybe.
Yeah, it's such an important figure. He had the rhythm section to die for. He had
Totally.
one of the great rhythm sections of all
Great
time.
drummer and
yes.
bass player was excellent.
Oh, that's great. What an event. That would have been fun.
And of course, the Count is sort of a sparse piano player.
Very spacious, I agree.
Sort of lots of room to breathe.
Yes,
And
yes.
quite contrasting, of course, with young Oscar Peterson,
Yeah.
who plays a lot of notes.
Yes, indeed. Well, they probably complemented each other.
I think so.
Yeah, that's great. I might dig up that recording of. There's some fascinating Basie material out there. I'm particularly focused on his early stuff because I'm always intrigues me how these artists sort of cut their teeth, so to speak.
Oh, yes,
And,
he was with Benny Moulton and people
yes,
like that.
he was, and Benny Moulton made quite a few records, and with Jimmy Rushing, who they called Mr. 5x5.
Yeah, Jimmy, he's got a great voice.
He's got a
Jimmy.
marvelous voice, and look, the Moulton band were virtually starving, and they had to shoot rabbits on the road to keep themselves going. It was that bad in the early days during the Depression.
Yeah.
And but they kept going, and I might see if I can do a little bit of a biographical on that early phase of. I love all of Basie's music, and we can play some later stuff too for sure.
Of course. This conversation is a lovely one because they're obviously old friends from
Yes.
way back
Oh, tremendous.
and mutually very respectful of each other.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I'll look it up. I'll see if I can find a link to it, and it'll be there.
Oscar Peter, I can get Leighton to send it.
Yeah,
if you
but
can't.
I'm sure it'll be there on the tube.
Yeah,
so
it's not hard to find.
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I'll
Peterson, and he does another one. At least the Count does another one, which Leighton didn't play today, but I have heard it.
Yeah.
With Duke Ellington,
Oh my goodness.
which I find even more interesting because
Yes.
of my love of the Duke. As
Yes,
you know.
absolutely. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, wow. It's tremendous how these sort of forces of nature, they in the sort of post-war period, there was a lot of they may have been rivals earlier on. They really worked in tandem and had lots of joint collaborations. And of course, Sinatra worked with Basie a bit too. I think he put out an album with him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and I'd love to hear any collaboration or any discussion with the Duke. Gosh, but
That's worth hearing as well.
yeah,
of course.
tremendous. Oh, that's good. Thank
Great,
you.
Again, great mutual respect.
Yeah,
And
totally.
in his conversation with Oscar, Bill Basie talks about his enormous respect and admiration for Ellington.
Oh, tremendous. Oh, it's great to hear about that, Frank. Well, I've got it written down now, so I'll definitely look that up. That sounds good. Yeah, all righty. Well, we've had a difficult week, I have to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's been difficult because my daughter's been very, very sick.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, and look, it sort of kicked off early. Well, she sort of became ill last Sunday, and
Celia.
yes, Celia, and she's been in hospital. But she's out now. But we may have to bring her back. It's it's just very bad lower abdomen pain, and started off as gastro, but it may have been food poisoning. We don't know. And initially,
Celia.
but it's unfortunately meant that she's had a huge amount of discomfort. She hasn't eaten since last Sunday, and she's just been really, really unwell. So we've been really. I've had an all-nighter at the hospital the other night, so I'm sort of still recovering from that. Well, we all are. But look, the most important thing is that she is under good care, and they're sort of aware, and they're going to need to do a lot of tests. So she must have some sort of maybe it's some autoimmune issue or something.
Yeah.
It's causing her to have very inflamed intestines.
Oh, gosh.
So and this cramping is just something that completely. It's the worst pain. So it seems it's terrible seeing your kids in pain.
Pain is terrible.
Yeah.
Especially internal pain.
Oh, totally. And she's doubled over. It was just really, I mean, look, in the hospital, they were right onto it, but even the endone didn't seem to help her. And it was only after they gave her a double dose that she was able to go to sleep and sort of move, at least have some rest.
Yeah.
And then they've just been monitoring it and what have you. But it's been one heck of a week.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, thank you. And look, I'm sure it'll be okay. I'm sure it'll be. She's perked up a little bit this afternoon, and she managed to keep a little bit of toast down. I made her some toast just before, and so far so good. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that she's moving
in the
beyond
best place anyway.
Yeah, look, that's right. So yeah. Anyhow, that's been sort of consumed me this week, but. So no other news really other than the busy coalface and all of that, but it's the pointy end of term, of course.
Yeah.
And but look, we'll proceed with some music. And also a fun thing that did occur this week. I received a package from a gentleman in New South Wales who is a member of the HRSA, and he was giving away some 78s, and it came up in the HRSA journal, and I wrote to him and said, oh, look, have you got any 20s hits, or have you got anything of that era, and I'd be interested. And he very kindly posted them to me at his expense, which was very good of him. And he posted me about 10, 15 records, and they're quite interesting. And so I thought, well, we'll feature some this afternoon for a little bit, and then I'll, after what you've just told me, I wouldn't mind playing some Count Basie after that. But look, we'll play a few of these, and tonight I might play some of the more classically oriented works as well. So maybe we can sort of, I just like to sort of indulge when a new batch of records arrives on the doorstep. It's nice to sort of discover them. So, but the first one I picked out was a really interesting light beam record made in would have to be about 1926. It features Abe Lyman's band, and it's pretty hot. It's one of these records where the distortion's so bad that it makes the intermod so bad that it makes a small ensemble sound like about 5 times its size.
Yes, it's an incredible effect.
It isn't interesting. It's an interesting acoustic effect, and it's
like super compression.
It is totally. It is, and it's just totally distorted, but it's just there, and it's so present. I sort of. I could almost term it as euphoric distortion.
Sort of so over the top. It's great,
it just sort of adds to the flavour.
Yeah.
So see what you think. It's fun. This is just classic mid-20s hit. It's just got everything. It's got all of the stylistic elements, and it's just a lot of fun. And the name of the track is Betty. So we'll hear it now. Back to 1926.
that pretty thing with diamond rings on almost every finger, Betty. No one but Betty, who makes me sigh and want to cry each time I see her passing by. It's Betty, no one but Betty. She always knows enough to call your little bluff. She'll make you so unrough by being sweet as can be. Who is this pet that's hard to get? You son of a gun, I'll get you yet. So Betty, Betty, you better be good to me.
Oh, that native distortion, I love it. It's so in your face. It's the Phil Spector of the 1920s.
Yeah, terrific.
It's good fun.
So 20s, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's just got every characteristic quality. And
larger than life.
It is. It's just in your face, and they're just strutting their stuff, and they're into the new syncopated verve. It's all happening. It's such a fun record. I love this sort of style. And so yeah, that one really took my attention. The other side, I think the other side might be the A side. It's one of these Brunswicks. They used to make their labels in gold leaf, but the gold leaf wears off, and the only way to see them is to hold it up to the light and see the impression. Otherwise, because it's just worn away. But the other side is Valencia, which was a huge hit.
I know Valencia.
Yeah, it was a big one, and sort of a bit of Spanish flavour. So while I've got the record here, we should hear this, another version of Valencia. There's so many out there. But anyhow, more of the Abe Lyman California Orchestra. Okay, there we have the famed Valencia. Everyone recorded that song. It must have been the big hit of the year. It's that type of compression reminds me of sitting in the middle of an orchestra and you're hearing the brass section right behind you, and you sort of get that. You know how your ears clip?
Yes.
When you're sort of just in a very, very loud environment, and you have that sort of native compression that sort of goes with our anatomy.
Sure, I know.
It's that sense. I've been in sections where there's just, it's so loud, so total, and so visceral that you get a similar quality, I think. It's all good fun. Yeah, so that's one of the new batch. So it's nice to have another 20s hit in the collection. So nice to have. And I'm not sure if I can't see the name of it's Ben Selvin. Well, Ben Selvin, I think, was an A&R. It was one of the house bands. So there we go. It could be anyone on that. Okay, amongst them is a couple of old Grand Prix records. Now, I think these were only released in Australia, but to my best knowledge, they are mastered from Pathé recordings in Europe, made in Europe. I might be wrong. And I have a feeling they are pantographically transcribed, which means that mechanically I think they originally recorded on cylinders, and then they use a mechanical means to transfer from the cylinder to the record. So there's a lot of native distortion in that process as well. But it says here the Grand Prix concert band could be absolutely anything. It could be European, it could be American, but it's good fun, and it's a march, and I think it's acoustic, but it's quite well. I mean, it comes across quite well. I played this on the One Note Gramophone before, and we have here the Imperial Eagle March on a Grand Prix disc, about 1922. Okay, there we go. That was a march recorded way back when, pre-electric for sure, and probably pantographically transcribed from a Pathé master, I think. I think that's the background to these Grand Prix records, and they sort of turn up in Australia, and they're one of those sort of, they're probably material that was sort of superfluous or back catalogue stuff that was on sold to Australia, so something like that. But I love hearing a good march. And when we were in Hamilton last week, because I was on the tour last week.
Oh, yes.
And when we were in Hamilton, we stopped and had lunch at the big old bandstand in the Botanical Gardens. And it was a classic bandstand. And I was thinking to myself, back in the day, that would have been the hub. It would have been they would have had regular concerts, and all of the provincial towns had their brass bands. And that would have been a really important sort of meeting place and entertainment spot. I can just imagine. And I was walking around just sort of thinking, wow, I wonder what this building has heard over the years. And it's been beautifully restored, and it's in a magnificent setting of the Botanical Gardens.
Yeah.
But but look, every town had its bandstand and its gardens and its and outdoor concerts were all the go, and they usually featured brass bands playing marches like the one we just heard. So
very good.
Yeah, it's good. It's a lovely tradition, and is the brass band tradition. So, yeah. Anyhow, that's another one from the batch, and I'll keep sifting. And here is one more. Let's play one more from this lot. This one recorded in Sydney in about 1934, and it features Jim Davidson and his Palais Royal Orchestra. I think they were resident, at the Palais in St Kilda. I'm not sure. But they were one of the premier dance bands in Australia in that pre-war period, and they made lots of records. But here's one, and it's called The Old Spinning Wheel. So, yeah, a bit of Australiana. Now, which turntable to play it on? I think I'll play it on the Buyer, because the stylus profile is more likely to fit. So we'll give this one a go. And
just while you're doing that, this is vk3sl working vk3sl crossband duplex 2 meters to 160 meters.
Indeed, and just a word that we are going out on 160 and also UHF. Not using 40 at the moment because we've got to do antenna maintenance when the fog clears here.
Yeah.
And that'll be probably in the school holidays now. But yeah, okay, let's have some Jim Davidson.
Spinning dreams of the long, long ago. Spinning dreams of an old-fashioned garden and an old-fashioned girl with a bow. Sometimes it seems that I can hear her in the twilight at the organ softly singing, "Oh, Black Joe." There's an old spinning wheel in the parlor,
held that note right through, got to the end, a little bit of a waver, but that was it.
He made it.
He made it. It's interesting sort of contemplating the rise of crooning. When you listen to that 20s hit we played a short time ago, the artist is projecting, and they used sort of funnels to project over the band, and it was before the era of microphones. And as soon as the microphone, the close proximity was able to be exploited, you had the birth of crooning. You didn't need to have a really big voice, you just need to have the right inflection.
Yep.
And so it's such an interesting one because you can definitely hear a crooner in that record. I don't know who.
Oh, definitely.
And and of course we all know Crosby and all of the early generation of crooners. Doesn't tell us who's singing on that, but
A whole, as you say, a generation of them.
that's right. But it was a marked change of delivery, and between that sort of very declamatory, almost yelling, and you hear it all in those early Coon Sanders records.
They are yelling, really.
Yeah, they are.
The time
It
shows.
Yeah. It's quite vaudevillian in that sense too.
You can't really portray soft and sensitive stuff very
That's
easily.
so true. Yeah, absolutely, Frank. I know what you mean. It's fascinating to sort of contemplate that sort of change and that shift in delivery. Okay, well, look, I think we'll change gear at this point. Played a few of these old records from the recent batch, and there's a lot more there. There's a lot of sort of parlour tenors and Edwardian kitsch. I might play a few of those later on. But what I'd like to play though is some Benny Moten, and an early bassy.
Oh, excellent.
Which is just be great, following on from the late what you heard this afternoon.
Certainly.
Yeah, so we'll hear Moten's Swing. This I think dates from 1933. It starts off with a marvellous Count Basie solo, and the Benny Moten Band was a tremendous outfit. Based in Kansas City back in the day. So, Moten Swing. That was Moten Swing, featuring the band with a fabulous solo at the start with Count Basie on the keys, the Kansas City band, the Original. And they made quite a lot of records, and they're all fabulous.
That sounded great.
They had wonderful sense of drive, and quite different to the material that Ellington was playing. It had its own character. Look, here's one called Get Going. More Benny Moten, this time from 1930. And this one also features Jimmy Rushing on the vocals. Yes, Mr. 5x5. Jimmy Rushing on the vocals and the music of Benny Moten and his Kansas City Orchestra, featuring Count Basie, a very young Count Basie. It's where he cut his teeth in Kansas City.
Right.
Yeah, it's good. It's good fun. Yeah, well, up for a few more of these?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll play another one or two from this early period, if I can just line them up. And yes, here we go. Liza Lee is the next one, and like the others, it features Hot Lips Page on the trumpet, fabulous trumpet player, driving trumpet. He had a very sort of distinctive tone, Mr. Hot Lips Page, and of course the Count, and who else? I'll look up a playlist while we're listening to the next one. Liza Lee.
lights are lit. Who's got that certain dash? Whose eyes are full of face? No one but my lights are lit. Sign for everything. Got me flying, looking at wet and rain. Oh, who knocked me for the low? Who's got me booked him up? No one but my lights are lit.
Track called Liza Lee, and we heard the music of Benny Moten and his Kansas City Orchestra. Just did a bit of a check-in on the bio of Mr. Moten. He died very prematurely and died in 1935 having his tonsils out.
Oh.
Pretty sad, but the story is he was born in 1894 and died in 1935. Jazz pianist and band leader, born in Kansas City, Missouri. He led the Kansas City Orchestra, the most important blues-based orchestra active in the Southwest in the 20s, and helped to develop the riffing style that would become to define many of the 1930s big bands. Interesting, those sort of stylistic elements. His first recordings are made in 1923 and were rather stiff interpretations of the New Orleans style of King Oliver and others. They also show the influence of the ragtime that was still popular in the area. They next recorded 1926 for Victor in the more sophisticated style of Fletcher Henderson. By 1928, Moten's piano was showing some boogie-woogie influences, but the real revolution came in the early 30s when he recruited Count Basie, Walter Page, and Orrin Hot Lips Page. Yeah. Walter Page's walking bass lines gave the music an entirely new feel compared to the 2/4 tuba of the predecessor, Vernon Page. Okay, coloured by Basie's understated syncopated piano fills. In this time, Ben Webster, tenor sax, and Jimmy Rushing, vocal, also joined. Tragically, Benny Moten died in 1935 from a botched tonsillectomy operation. Buster Moten briefly took over the band, but many of its top members eventually gravitated towards Count Basie. So there we go, bit of a riff. I'll play their very first, one of their very early recordings. I don't know if the count's on this one, but it goes back to 1929, and just gives you a flavour of how they sort of sounded in their first generation. And it's a track called. It's an interesting one because it sort of features a little bit of European influence, or South American or Spanish influence, really. It's called Rumba Negro, and recorded in 1929 with the original Benny Moten Band. Quite interesting, actually, to hear that early recording of Benny Moten's band, and that actually Count Basie is in that recording. And with a little bit of Spanish influence. Another one from that same session. I've got the lineup here, and it's got Vernon Page playing the brass bass, and I don't think Hot Lips Page had joined at this stage, but Basie's certainly in the band on this one, and I'm keen to hear. It's called Rit Dit Ray is the name of the tune, and again from the same year, 1929. So let's get another sample of the early days of the Benny Moten Band. Yes, love that piano solo. That was on fire. Amazing. Yeah, so sampling recordings of the Benny Moten Band in its early days.
Oh, it was really jumping, huh?
Yeah, it was great. It's fabulous. I love it. Love its raw energy. Yeah, it's all good. Another one here called Toby. Keen to hear this, and I think Mr. Basie's on this record as well. It's a part of an anthology. I've actually got this record on the shelf, but it's easier just to line it up here. Here we go, Count Basie. that was on fire, that performance. Quite incredible. And we're sampling recordings of Count Basie with the Benny Moten Band. I'm going to see if I can find some solo Basie recordings from the 30s. I'd love to hear him in that sort of pre-war period.
Yeah.
So I'll play this one and then see if I can dig some stuff up. Okay, we're hearing selections from the Benny Moten Orchestra back in the day, featuring Count Basie. Just looking for some solos. I want to hear some of the early solos, and it's very interesting to hear those little breaks with the strong stride influence on those tracks. I've found one here from 1938, and it's the tune I Ain't Got No Body. So let's hear a little bit of Count on his own, on his lonesome. I'm not sure if he's with anyone else here, but that little sample I had then sounds like it could be worth a listen. Count Basie back in 1938, and I Ain't Got Nobody. Well, I found something very interesting, Frank. There is actually a very short recording of the Duke and the Count playing together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a rare one.
It is a rare one, and it says, I'll read out the little preamble here. I've just found
This is royalty.
Yes, it certainly is. It says, there's a lot of great music and a lot of history to unpack in this very short but historic clip. It came at the end of a 1972 NBC television special filmed at the Lincoln Center in front of a live audience. First, we see the real treat. Count Basie and his band playing his theme song, 1 O'Clock Jump, with the Duke Ellington at a second piano, sharing a couple of blues and F choruses with Basie.
Yeah.
And even with timing issues, that alone would have really evolved into a masterpiece, but it was a tightly produced network show, so be it.
Sure.
So we just get this little snippet. So I'll play it.
Yeah.
It's and I'm very keen to. I'd like to find. I was just looking for the interview with the Duke, but I can't find it at this point. But I'll see if I can find the Oscar Peterson and Count Basie interview that you mentioned before.
Sure. I can certainly get Leighton to send it to you.
Yeah.
If you can't find it.
Yeah, for sure. So look, we'll check in with this now, and I can sort of alert the listener to what's going on as we listen. This is Basie to start with here. Now it's Duke now. That's it. That's about all we get.
Yeah.
But it's a rather special. There's a good 15 seconds of them playing together.
Historic.
It's incredibly historic, yes.
Yeah.
So it's amazing what's out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is.
Yeah, so I'm going to just check this now and see if I can find this. I'd really love to hear it. Count Basie and Oscar Peterson. Let's see what happens. If we can find the interview, that would be just amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Oscar Peterson, Count Basie jumping at the Woodside. Well, it's got a recording of them playing together. Jumping at the Woodside. This would be good. This would be good. Let's see if there's a bit of information here. From BBC, Oscar Peterson and Count Basie both playing the piano, with Niels Pedersen on the bass and Martin Drew on the drums. Okay. Well, this will be another historic document. Isn't it amazing? We just have all this material at our fingertips. And just to think those jazz historians years ago would have had to search far and wide to find little snippets like this.
Totally, that's right.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's amazing.
It is, totally. All right, let's have a listen. Here's the Count.
You got it. I know it. It's right in here, too.
It's Basie now.
boy.
That is absolute gold. They were so complimentary. No one was out trying to outdo the other.
Perfect.
And
perfect
it was just,
harmony.
it was marvellous. And they were smiling at each other. The pianos were parked sort of side to side.
Yeah.
And they were watching each other face on as they were playing that. Isn't that amazing?
Great stuff.
Yeah. Now, I've just found something else here. It says, Count Basie on Art Tatum interview with Oscar Peterson, 1980.
Oh, my God.
Well, this could be interesting. It's 7 minutes. I'd like to play it. I'd like to hear it very much. So we'll feature that now. And so this is a marvellous rabbit hole. Thank you. And here we go. So, yes, let's indulge.
I want to ask you about is another great that we used to talk about. And we were talking about musical intimidation, right? And I was talking about how my idol, and I'm sure the gentleman that you revere, Art Tatum, used to literally intimidate pianists. And it's one thing for people to understand what the word means insofar as lifestyle, but insofar as a musical style, I can remember, I'm sure you vividly remember, what pianists used to feel like when he used to walk in the room that they were playing in. What did you get out of Tatum? When did you first meet Art Tatum, first of all?
Oh, I met Art many, many years ago, and we were traveling through Toledo, and I was with Benny Moten, you know, and I made the mistake. We stopped over in Toledo for a stopover, you know, and I made the mistake of saying there was a piano there in this little room, you know, and I don't know, I just I don't know what made me sit down at this piano and play. And in those days, I thought I could stride a little bit, you know. Yeah. And somebody walked over and they said, "This is Art Tatum being here, man." And I really hadn't heard of him too much, you know. So someone told me to get up from that piano. So I listened to that, something told me. And I got up. And Art walked in there, and he must have been, I don't know what brought him in there, but somebody must have told him as a kid in there trying to play some piano or something like that, so he walked in there and just played a half a chorus or something. And that was all. That's how I met Art, really.
Really?
And, but then I heard him several times later on at a lot of different meetings when everything was quiet when he walked in and sat down. That's the way it's always been.
How about the piano parties? You mentioned once about...
Except when you came, and he really admired you an awful lot. And I remember the time when you went looking for him.
No, I didn't.
Knocked on his door.
I was always suicidal.
No, it wasn't like that. No, he respected you an awful lot.
Oh, I loved that. We were very close friends. But you told us some time ago about a very funny scene where he walked up behind you when you were having.
Oh yeah, we were at this little club in Los Angeles. And everybody was there that night. Buddy Rich was sitting in for Joe Jones, who had just been inducted in the Army. And Tommy Dorsey was there, and he was playing. And who was it? Artie Shaw, I believe. A couple of other guys were playing, and the band was just swinging. And somebody touched me on the shoulder, and then looked back and went on. And he said, "Hey." I said, "What key you playing in?" I said, "B flat, and you ain't playing six." He said, "What's wrong?" I said, "You're not playing this piano now. The next set." I never been on that one, boy. Because when he sits down, everything is destroyed.
Yeah.
And nothing else happens.
It's true.
After that.
Well, this is what I meant about the intimidation, because when Art Tatum used to play, my feeling about it was that whether it was certainly a pianist that thought they wanted to follow him, they would change their mind. And if it was a horn of some sort, there was always a scuffle as to who was going to play the next solo following the piano solo. They'd be all pushing each other saying, "Well, you got it." And he said, No, you've got it. You know, because he played so much, and he had a trick he used to do. If a soloist was playing, they're playing something that does this tempo, he would lay one of these on him like... Of course, right?
That's just what you've been doing to me all the time.
not over there. But that was one. But I don't think. I think that Art actually did that because he was like kind of a prankster. You know, he loved doing that. He was very much in love with this instrument. We all know that.
Yeah, I don't think he could stand any spaces.
No,
He couldn't stand no space.
now he filled up all the boxes.
That's right. Yeah.
But the thing that I admired about him was I remember the intimidation that I suffered when I first met him, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm, as a matter of fact, very honored to say it because he meant a lot to me and still does. And I used to come apart whenever he'd come in, just be destroyed. I'd be playing something and go into that bag and anything. And he took me aside one night and he said, if you have to hate me, if that's what's going to make you get over this, you'll just have to hate me. You can't just hate somebody, just voluntarily.
I can.
Yeah. No. You can? I don't believe that.
But pretty, but beautiful.
And I thought you cared all these years. And really, it wasn't a case of really hating him. I had to ignore him as best I could. If you can ever ignore death, I had to ignore, and one night he had a way of talking to pianists through the instrument. And one night he came into where I was playing, and I had gotten over this nemesis of, not being able to play. And we went to an after-hour joint afterwards, and he rode over with us. He said, "Boy, you sure played good. Sound good. You were getting it together, right?" And usually in the after-hour places, the great instigations that used to go on, they'd see two piano players together and say Art, they'd say, "Well, why don't you play something? And Art, you play something." He went straight to the piano, and he just took it apart, literally. Just wasted everything on the piano.
You'd play something like what?
Pardon?
What will he play something like about 8 bars of what? Something like what?
Oh, I know. I can't really do it because I'm
just
not.
Just a little bit, about 8 bars.
I can't do it, really.
You do it.
I have never imitated
Yeah,
it.
I know, but you just play 8 bars. Just play 8 bars. Just 8 bars. Just play some 8 bars.
And he went through about 10 minutes of something and just wasted it all. And he came back over and he sat down beside me and he said, when I get through, you can have it. And, he was an ego. He was a very proud man. He should have been. And I think that, I don't think there is a pianist today, if they really want to be honest, of that era that wasn't influenced by him. Do you agree?
I'm with you.
I think so. I think that Art was, along with Charlie Parker, who had the same kind of influence on saxophone players, or Lester Young, or certainly Coleman Hawkins.
Oh my gosh, how about that? Isn't that gold?
That's the sort of conversation you'd really like to hear.
Oh, isn't it marvellous?
Freewheeling, honest, two friends.
Yeah, totally.
No ego.
No, just completely, there's a whimsical meander of reminiscence.
Yeah.
Many years after the fact, I mean, gosh, Art Tatum died decades before that.
Yes, he did. What a legend.
Oh my gosh! Now, are you able to listen for a little bit, or you got Din's cooking, or what's
I've got to go. I've got to order some food.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say I can play that. It might be a good way. I mean, I did play this last week, but I'm sure the listener won't mind.
Yeah.
I can play that interview with Willis Conover and Art Tatum.
Superb, yeah.
Will you be? I suppose you could put on the recorder if you don't hear it.
That's what I will do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I'll play that. Look, I'll ride with it now because I better check in with what's happening inside. I heard this last week, and it's quite fascinating. It really is. And, it's probably one of the only interviews with Art Tatum, and he expresses his admiration of Oscar Peterson. It's quite fascinating. So, we'll finish with this today. I will be back tonight. I need something to look forward to.
Yeah, sure.
And I've got to work this evening. But I'll come back in at 11 o'clock and just do a really short program, play a few weird and wonderful items.
Sure.
And then we'll be probably back for a short missions tomorrow and maybe Sunday. We'll see how we go. If I can fit them in, I will. There is a few things going on this weekend. I've got a concert on Sunday.
Okay.
But we'll make something happen. But it's all contingent on what's going on inside.
Yeah, just play it by ear.
Yeah, definitely. So if I'm not on, I've had to sort of heal and sort things out. But with Celia. But anyhow, let's have a listen to this interview with Willis Conover, and I'm more than happy to hear it again. And I'm sure, it'll just tantalise. It's quite remarkable. So thanks, Frank.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks for sharing the love, as they say.
Yeah, thanks indeed.
And we'll look forward to your company later on.
Say goodbye to the listener and keep tuning in for later on this evening if you wish.
Absolutely. We hope so too. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, folks. Catch up soon. I'm vk3sl.
Yeah.
And vk3sl likewise. Until soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet Mr. Art Tatum.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody?
Everybody is happy, Mr. Tatum, to be hearing your music. I would like to ask you how you feel the classical piano styles are paralleled in jazz piano styles.
Well, to try to answer that, let's see. I mean, to say this, I'll put it this way. You have quite a few concert pianists who study, no doubt, 3 or 4 hours every day, I'm sure, to rehearse for their programs. And the same thing happens with a jazz pianist. A good jazz pianist has to study also. And to prepare himself for a jazz concert, I'm sure that he... let's see how's the best way to put this for you, because with me, it doesn't require as much practice as it does with some fellows, I guess, but usually about an hour and a half for me each day.
Well, who would you say, Mr. Tatum, are the great jazz piano stylists of this century?
Oh, my goodness, I couldn't begin to name all of the good pianists like Mel Powell, Teddy Wilson, Oscar Peterson, I could name Just Stacy Goodnight. I mean, there's so many good pianists around.
Well, who would you name as your earliest influences then, Mr. Tatum?
Well, for my earliest influences, I would say Fats Waller and Lee Sims were the two fellows that I think done most for me, because, I'm a little older than Peterson and those fellows that I named. However, Teddy is around the same age I am.
Well, then perhaps, since you have at least one Fats Waller composition in your recorded solos, you would like to introduce one for our Voice of America audiences.
Yes, I would, because I think Fats, however, he's been dead about 10 years now. Fats was, I guess I sort of leaned more or less toward Fats. It doesn't show in my playing, I don't think, in the starting, but I was more or less influenced by Fats Waller, and I thought Fats was a great musician. So I think we'll play one of his here now, his Jitterbug Waltz, a thing that he wrote just before he died.
Fats Waller's Jitterbug Waltz, played by Art Tatum. Art Tatum and the Fats Waller standard Jitterbug Waltz. May I ask, Mr. Tatum, whether you were thinking of Fats as you recorded that?
Yes, I was. I certainly was.
Generally speaking, how do you rate the act of a jazz man's creating new improvisations on the chord changes of other compositions? You regard it as creative, or more so than, or less so than?
Well, that's a sort of a tough question for me, because you got so many different types of pianists. I mean, you're going into something here that you find pianists who can't stretch as far as others, and other pianists who invert chords differently. And that's more or less a tough question for me. So I won't step in on that one, because I invert chords differently than other pianists, and I don't know just how to state that one. So I'll turn that loose.
Well, perhaps I can revise the question this way, Mr. Tatum. Wouldn't you say that a jazz musician is as genuinely creative when he originates new melodies on the chord changes of other songs, as was the original composer when he wrote the song?
Oh, easily so. I mean, you getting into jazz piano and playing a good jazz piano, I mean, it's just as difficult as any concert pianist. And don't let anybody kid you about it.
Well, may I ask how much planning goes into your performances, Mr. Tatum, and how much of it is spontaneous improvisation?
I'm a pretty fortunate guy about planning because I don't do too much planning. Most fellows do have to plan, and they set up arranged things. With me, I don't. The only time that we plan anything is when I use a trio. Of course, you've heard my trio, quite a few of you, I'm sure. With the bassist, Slam Stewart and Everett Barksdale, and from time it's changed to Tiny Grimes in the beginning. But the only time that I plan anything is with the trio, and we have very few rehearsals. So I don't do too much planning. However, when I plan for my own concerts or for solo concerts, I do that at home, and it's a very easy thing for me to do.
You do have a marvelous memory, don't you, Mr. Tatum? When you have played a performance, you can recall the position of each note and, if necessary, repeat the performance almost note for note.
Yes, I can at any time. Just about I can play anything note for note. I have that happen to me quite often. People come in and they say, gee, I'd like to hear you play that just like the record, or either they'll say, God, you played it just like the record. I didn't expect it, or either they'll say, I used to get tired of playing things like I'd make a record and then people would come in and I wouldn't play it that way, and they'd say, God, would you play it like the record did? You didn't play it that way on the record. So, I mean, I can do it either way. It doesn't make any difference.
Well, thank you, Mr. Art Tatum. We're proud and happy to have had you with us on the Voice of America Jazz Hour today.
It's a pleasure to have been here. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Art Tatum plays T for Two. T for Two. You've been listening to the music of the man many regard as the world's greatest pianist, Art Tatum. Taboo, recorded by Art Tatum, and Art, how many pianists did it take to make that record?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think but one.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I'm still, I still find it unbelievable every time I hear you play or see you play.
Oh, it's a real pleasure to know that.
How many hours of recording does your current series of Clef albums represent, Art?
Well, truthfully, let's see. Willis, that should be, I couldn't say exactly because I don't know just how many records you have of mine up here.
Well, I have the 10-album series that Norman Graham's put out, the 12-inch album series on Clef, plus, of course, the one you made with Minnie Carter and Louis Belson, and some of your older ones, too. But I was interested in this current series that you did for Graham.
I'll tell you, let's see how to tell you the best way. We did all of those records in possibly, say, about 3 nights' work, because it was one night from about 9 o'clock until about 1 o'clock, one session, and the next session was around the same period of time. And then one or two sessions were done in the afternoon. However, the first night we cut about what you might, in the vernacular of records, I imagine you say, we cut about 100 sides the first night. Now you understand that's every master, you go straight down. I mean, there's no retakes. And then you can do that when you're playing piano solo by yourself, and you don't have to worry about anybody else. So you're playing completely by yourself, and with me, I can do that.
Well, that's a fabulous output, of course, quality-wise, but quantity-wise. All in one sitting, 4 hours of continuous playing. Is that right, Art?
That's right, and I think out of all of those numbers, I think I had about 1 or 2 retakes that I probably went over.
I'd be interested in having you explain once more why it is that when you record as a soloist, you often perform live with a trio.
I didn't quite understand you.
Well,
really.
on the records which I regard as your best records, and which possibly you do too, since you record them by yourself. You are playing as a piano soloist, but when you appear, for example, in clubs, you always have rhythm accompaniment.
Mainly, I think the reason for that is, I better put it this way, most people that come in a club to hear you play, I think they come for one particular thing, and that thing usually is something that they can pat their foot by, or something that they can keep the rhythm up, and it sort of lends to help the individual that's coming in to listen to the music. And some of the intricate things that are that are being done on the piano, it might not get across to him, providing you don't have the other two instruments there. And I think by having the bass fiddle and the guitar, sometimes it lends to help his taste. Well, should I put it that way?
Well, you would also say, I'm sure, that Slam Stewart, in addition to being a wonderful bassist for you, is a tremendous visual appeal as well.
I should say he is, and not only that, Slam is a great bass player, and also I feel the same way toward my guitar player, Everett Barksdale, in his own right, as a fine musician. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from them. However, the piano is my sole interest, and I do feel that in order to the public, I like to present a trio, and then I still play solo piano too.
Well, when these men have worked with you as long as they have, I suppose there isn't too much of a problem in learning the arrangements that you make on the various songs you play.
No, it's not too hard, because we don't do anything too difficult, because I find that that's another problem. If you fix a trio that's too difficult for the people to understand, and sometimes it gets a little too difficult to play. So we try to keep it simple, and we keep usually the melodic lines. You can always understand what we're playing.
Well, Art, you have various favorite ways of playing various numbers, and I'm curious, when you prepare your arrangement of the number, the arrangement which you like to play best each time you play it, you must have a wonderful memory, because sometimes you put just the right piano run in the same place when you come back and play it months later.
Usually when it's the trio, it's usually set up a certain way, and we keep it that way.
I was referring to your own solo playing.
Solo playing, most of the time, certain numbers I have certain set patterns for them, and I'll tell you for the reason for that, Wallace, because I've had so many complaints. People just come in and say, "Gee, I heard your record of such and such a thing 15 years ago, and you don't play it that way anymore." So I mean, consequently, I found that. They hear something on the record, the people, I don't know why, invariably they want to hear it the same way when they see you in person. With me, if I ever, any artist, anybody I ever saw, I've always wanted to see them do something different than what they've done on the record or whatever they've ever done. However, other people are, I don't know why it is, or whether they feel that this artist can't do that because he did it on the record, and they just want to see whether he can do it or not. But it's one of those things that it's a lasting impression with them, I guess, whenever you make that first impression. But with me, usually it's a routine thing. Whatever we set up on a record, I usually play it that way, or it's nearly that way anyway.
Well, this gets us to that interesting question of what is jazz, which I don't think has ever been satisfactorily answered. But let me ask you this way. To be jazz, must the variation be brand new each time, spontaneous, on the spot? Can you play things the same way twice and still satisfy a definition of jazz?
I think you can. In fact, I know you can, because I don't know of anybody in the world that could change an idea every time they got ready to play. I mean,
you're bound to resort back to the same thing sometime or other.
Well, would a definition of jazz depend upon the interpretation involved, or upon the rhythm underlying the performance, or what, to satisfy your definition of jazz? I'm collecting definitions, so I'd like to hear yours.
Well, I tell you, I usually like to stay out of these things, you know. And in fact, I don't like to get too involved. But I don't truthfully, I won't speak on it.
Well, it's a question that no one has answered, I think, even to his own satisfaction. So forgive me for putting it to you.
Yes, I mean, that's a little rough.
Well, I know that you won't mind this question. You must have some new thoughts on favorite pianists that you've heard since the last time we spoke here.
There's so many good pianists, Wallace Conover. I mean, it'd be a shame for me to just sit down and pick out 2 or 3 fellows to say that these are great pianists. I mean, there's so many good pianists in the United States that I couldn't. I just couldn't begin to name them all to you.
Well, are we close enough friends so that I could put you on the spot and ask you if you had to select 3 of your favorite pianists and then add, and many more besides, perhaps you can put 3 in that category now.
Well, yes, I could name you 8 or 10.
Well, let's hear that then.
Well, I mean, there's a young kid in New York. Have you ever heard of a kid by the name of Dick Hyman?
Yes, I have.
He's a very good pianist. And of course, I'm sure that most of your listeners have heard of Billy Taylor.
Often.
And Ellis Larkin. And, there's quite a few boys out on the West Coast that play good pianos. There's a kid out there by the name of Harry Zone. I can't think of his name. I don't know whether he's dead now or not, but he was a great pianist. There's quite a few young pianists that are very good pianists. So, I mean, I can't think of them offhand now, but I mean, I get around all over the country, and I get in these different cities, and you run upon kids that you never hear of. And they're not all in New York City, mind you. They're scattered all over the country. So you've got just oodles of them. There's too many good pianists. I mean, it scares me. I mean, there's too many of them.
Oh, no. Well, you must know, Art, that you scare every pianist, too. And I won't leave a pause there, because that implies you have to answer, and it's not something.
No, I mean that it's something to think about anyway.
Have you ever satisfactorily explained how you arrived at, well, just to select one facet of your musical personality, how you arrived at your technique, which is, of course, the joy and the despair of every other pianist?
Well. Satisfactorily, I don't know. I couldn't say that, because I don't feel that I have all of the technical facilities that I would like to have. I mean, I'm not satisfactorily sure of that. That's one of the things I think that in years to come, I think a guy's technique gets better and better. He should. If he doesn't get better, then he should quit.
Well, Art, then suppose we discuss, since our listeners are outside the United States, discuss your previous trips outside America, and I understand there's a possibility of a new trip to Europe coming up soon.
Yes, I think we're definitely coming to Europe in around March or April, something like that. I'm supposed to go over for Norman Grant for about 6 or 8 weeks.
Do you know yet which countries you'll touch?
From what I can understand, I think we go to Sweden, Germany, France, Belgium, all of the countries, I think, in Europe practically, but England, and of course, I'm sure we don't go into Russia or nothing like that.
Well, then here's a word for the listeners overseas. Art Tatum is on his way, and get those pianos in tune.
Yeah, that's correct.
Art, I'd like to, I think we will have a chance to speak a few moments more, but I'd like, before we do that, to return to one of your older recordings of Elegy, which you've recorded twice, is that right?
Yeah, the first one was done for Decca, and that was done, I think, around 1938 or 39.
Well, not to imply that you haven't progressed since since that time, but I still feel that your recording of Elegy is not only your number one piano record, but the number one piano record. And I would like to play it now.
Thank you.
Art Tatum and his original recording of Elegy. That was Elegy by Art Tatum, and thank you, Art Tatum, for being with us again today.
Well, it was a real pleasure to come up, and I'm certainly glad you invited me up. I just want you to thank all of my friends in Europe, and I hope to be over there quite soon. Thank you again.